And welcome to my channel about living in and moving to Denver, Colorado. Today is the suburb of Highlands Ranch, Colorado. If it's a good fit for you, is the living and the lifestyle something that you desire? We're going to be covering a ton of information today. Let's get into it. Hey, I'm Katie Martineau, also known as the Real Estate Gal. If this is your first time tuning into my channel, welcome. I cover all things majority Denver Metro, things to do, places to live, restaurants to try, so much information. And if you want to get notified every time I release a video, you got to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell because I release videos twice a week. Also mention, my nickname is Katie the Real Estate Gal. I am a licensed real estate agent in this state, so if you need help with buying, selling, or anything in between, I'm your gal. I would love for you to reach out to me, so my contact information is below. Call, text, or email, whatever is preferred for you. I'd be happy to help in any way that I can. Back to Highlands Ranch, let's get into it. First things first, where is it located? It is southwest of downtown Denver. If you go west of I-25 and east of 85, you're going to be finding a rectangle box of Highlands Ranch. There is E-470 that rides right through it, and pretty much wherever you're going to go, you're probably going to hit one of those major roads. So to go south, we are about 20 to 30 minutes from Castle Rock. If you're going to Denver Tech Center, it does depend on whereabouts in Highlands Ranch you're coming from, but Denver Tech Center is a little bit more accessible. It's about a 15-minute drive. Downtown Denver can be 35 to 40 minutes. Boulder would be about an hour drive, and then 30 minutes to Red Rocks Amphitheater. So we are fairly close to the mountains, a little bit central if you think about it, and about 45 minutes from the Denver International Airport. Now those are driving times. If you are looking for a railway system, the Southwest Rail Line opened in July 2000 as an 8.7-mile extension of the railway from I-25 and Broadway to Mineral Avenue. It is proposed to add an additional 2.5 miles of rail and one new park and ride to extend service into Highlands Ranch. There are about 110,000 residents in Highlands Ranch, and some of the neighborhoods can really be tucked away. But Highlands Ranch is on a topographic hump, I think I'm saying that right, and it has fantastic views of the mountains. There are some streets that you'll be driving on and just have the most gorgeous sunset or view of the mountains. It's really hard to compete with some of their views. There are some cities that are even closer to the mountains, such as Littleton, but there are some views in Highlands Ranch that definitely blow Littleton out of the water because of that elevation. Highlands Ranch was designed that you don't necessarily have to leave Highlands Ranch in order to go anywhere or do anything. There are a ton of different town centers and rec centers, pools to hang out at, tennis courts, pickup ball, parks and recreation. There's some amphitheaters, grocery stores are everywhere. So it's a master plan community, and it was designed so you don't necessarily have to go to downtown. You don't have to go to Denver Tech Center or even leave Highlands Ranch in order to have the great outdoors. And we'll get into how much acreage and space and features of the great outdoors that Highlands Ranch has to offer. One thing that Highlands Ranch does not have is a distinct downtown kind of feel. And if you compare it with Littleton, that has a historic downtown with shops and restaurants, Highlands Ranch doesn't quite have that. It does have a lot of amenities in different locations, but I've never heard anyone say, I'm gonna go to downtown Highlands Ranch. It just doesn't really exist. There is Park Meadows Mall, which is in Lone Tree, which is a hop, skip, and a jump away. And that is the largest indoor shopping mall that Colorado has. Really beautiful architecture and inside kind of cabiny mountain feel to it. It is multi-level and there's a ton of restaurants to choose from. I was actually just at Perry's Steakhouse yesterday, and there's also a Costco right down the way. There's Nordstrom Rack, Marshall's, Home Depot. So that's not located in Highlands Ranch, but it is right next door. And of course, you can always leave Highlands Ranch to go explore in other areas like downtown Denver with some sporting events. But Highlands Ranch doesn't really have a huge draw to have a lot of people from out of town come by. There are some neighborhoods that'll have like Levitt Pavilion, Red Rocks Amphitheater, Fiddler's Green, so they'll have concerts and events. Highlands Ranch has has a little bit more of a local feel to it. It is voted the 6th most popular place to raise a family in Colorado, and it got the 8th best place to live in Colorado, probably because you just have everything that you need there. Now, one downfall of Highlands Ranch is there is an HOA. But don't get freaked out. Highlands Ranch is a master plan community with the homeowners association, but the fees for the HOA are pretty low compared to some other places that you might be visiting. HOAs can be roughly between $20 to $80 per month, and it includes all those things that we kind of touched on before: tennis courts, open space, maintenance of roads and outdoor space, pools, parks. So it's relatively affordable compared to some HOAs that might even be downtown Denver. It's $600 to $800 per month just for the HOA. I have actually seen a voluntary HOA, which kind of blows my mind, of the fact that you have the choice if you want to contribute to it or not. But that's not all areas. It's just something to keep in mind because it does play into your debt to income ratio when it comes to mortgage, but it won't necessarily tip the scale because on average it is a little bit of a lower price. In the MLS descriptions for a lot of the houses, I'll see a quarterly HOA versus a monthly HOA. And then there are some certain areas that will have 2 HOAs, and that is also something to keep in mind because one of them might be really affordable at $40 a month and the other might be $120 a month, and that can really tip you over the scale for affordability in Highlands Ranch when looking at your monthly mortgage payment. So the feel of Highlands Ranch is very mountainy yet residential, and it is spread out. There's over 4,000 acres of open space in Highlands Ranch, houses back up to open space and a green belt, which is really fantastic, and it raises the home price value when you don't have a neighbor in your backyard. There are 69 acres of a fenced in area near Chatfield Reservoir, so you can let your dog off leash. You have access to the reservoir. It is public, and so you could be kayaking, boating, jet skiing. There are 10 overnight campground sites and 24 miles of horseback riding trails. So Highlands Ranch definitely gives the opportunity for that outdoor feel. You don't necessarily have to drive all the way to the mountains: Breckenridge, Keystone, Vail, Copper. Now those are ski mountains, so I do take that back. But if you're just looking to be outside, to ride your bike around, to go for a hike, to do some water sports, you do have access to that in Highlands Ranch. As well as I mentioned, it is public space. Now the pools and rec centers, you do have to be a resident of Highlands Ranch, but it does have that spacious feel. As well as properties, there are a lot of lots that have a little bit of acreage, and not all homes are right on top of each other, as you'll see tightly condensed in other areas in the Denver metro. Now, home price values range from about $400,000 to several million depending on your location and the square footage. And I like to say that Highlands Ranch homes do have a little bit of a Highlands Ranch feel to them. It's kind of hard to describe. And some are a little bit more cookie cutter, but not to your typical cookie cutter new build, but you'll see similar railings, similar layouts, the beams in the middle if there is a 3-car garage or sometimes even a 2-car garage, and some styles that you would see in the 80s and 90s. Unless it's been updated. Highlands Ranch is in the Douglas County School District, which is voted top 2 school districts in the state of Colorado. There are 4 public schools in Highlands Ranch. There are also STEM and charter schools such as Valor High School. So if you have a family, you're going to have a lot to choose from school-wise, K through 12th grade. I'd encourage you to look on greatschools.org to see different reviews on schools and do a little bit of research on specific locations based off of school districts. I actually have access to a really cool map that shows the school district lines. And so if you are very dead set on a certain school district, we can create a search that clearly outlines where you should be searching for a home within those boundaries, unless you're prepared to drive your child to school or enroll in a different district. Ending on a good note, Highlands Ranch is a master plan community, as mentioned before, and so with that, they planned for there to be enough road and space for how many people they anticipated on moving there. In saying that, there's not too much congestion when it comes to traffic. Like some other areas in the Denver metro, they weren't expecting the population to boom as fast as it did. They were anticipating the amount of people that live in Highlands Ranch to be there, and so the roads are wider, there is parking parking, traffic during your usual hours of driving to and from work. There isn't as much congestion as there is in other locations. So overall, I definitely would recommend Highlands Ranch as a place to look if you have a family or are looking for community vibes. I get and hear a lot of positive feedback about Highlands Ranch. If you have any other questions, comment below or send me a direct message. I'm happy to set up a free search for you, answer your questions, and go through what type of inventory we're seeing available currently in the market. My contact information is below, and if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you get notified every time I release a video, which now will be next week. Thank you so much for watching. We'll chat soon.